So hi guys, today we have Suryansh with us. He has achieved a rank of around 977 in JEE Advanced. So welcome Suryansh.
Thank you. Hi. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So we will be discussing with him the JEE preparation tips, tricks and strategies and all the important things that a JEE aspirant must know. So we'll start with your journey. So basically first tell us what was your rank in mains also.
So my JEE mains rank was 478, and then advanced I got 977.
Nice, nice, amazing. So what was your reaction when you saw your JEE Advanced ka rank? Like did you expect that
Um,
977?
तो मेरा जो स्कोर था which was 210, I knew कि it would be एकदम on the boundary of 1000. So मतलब या तो 1000 के इस पार या इस पार, but I knew कि it would be around 1000. So when I saw it, I was ecstatic. I was very ecstatic. 1000 के अंदर आ गई and
Yeah,
IIT
yeah.
पक्का ना तो yeah, I was very
Yes.
happy.
Okay, okay. Like getting a rank under 1000, you are sorted. Ki top 7 IITs mein, you will definitely get really good branches, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So also, during your journey, like, can you tell us like when you actually started your preparation? Like, did you did foundation or like the whole roadmap?
So ninth and 10th में I started my JEE prep in ninth only. So ninth में I did a few it was under the guidance of my coaching only, but ninth में I did a few basic chapters of 11th grade, and 10th में I did a few basics of 12th grade. These were not like to the point where इन्हीं पे I could go write advanced exam, but this was just for the basic. Like if I knew the mechanics and physics, it like if
Mhm.
I knew the basics and mechanics, when it actually came in 11th grade, I was much faster at adapting to it. So I did not have any problem with that. So that was the foundation thing. So I started in ninth only, but the
Mhm.
academic rigor of my JEE prep and the difficulty came in 11th and 12th.
Okay. So let's say you are in ninth and 10th. So at that time, you are going to school, right? Regular schooling.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. And self-study time, how much it used to be? Let's say foundation level, we would count if, let's say academic rigor mainly started in 11th and 12th, like when you actually devote all the time you have for your JEE preparation.
Correct. Correct.
So
But
in ninth
ninth,
and 10th,
so
mhm,
ninth one used to be like, so I was very passionate about studying, especially mathematics. I loved mathematics. I still do.
okay,
So
mhm,
it used to be school used to end by about 3. I would just play around with my friends, come back by 4, and then I'd get ready. I would again go out to play, but I would come back by 7, and then 7 to about 9 I would study, and then 10 to about 12. I think 3 to 4 hours a day ho jata tha
okay, 3 to 4 hours a day of self-study, right?
in ninth. Maybe
Yeah,
even
let's
less. 2 to 3 hours pakad lete hain.
yeah, two
It,
to three hours, right?
hmm,
So
ninth.
basically in ninth, 10th, it was like 2 to 3 hours on normal days, right? Generally
This
average. Yeah.
yes, for the J stuff. Baki when school exams used to come, उस समय थोड़ा और वो तो सबका ज़्यादा था.
Yeah, yeah. And coming to 11th and 12th, how
Hmm.
many hours? Like, let's say, coaching lectures and self study. How will you divide this time?
So coaching lectures का time used to be fixed only about 5 hours for me. वो सबका अपना रहता है. I used to make sure to give. So I always track ki how long do I need to finish the material that I have set out for myself, that itna mujhe per chapter I have to finish so that I will make sure my chapter is strong. And I used to know how much time it takes. On a daily basis, I used to come out from 5.5 to 6.5 hours for me. So I used to aim for used to aim for 7 hours every day. तब जाके 5.5 to 6 hours बनता था.
No, no. Self study time used to be how much?
वही like I said, I used to aim for 7 hours. It used to come out to 5.5 to 6. हाँ.
Okay, okay. So aim for 7. So can you throw some light on planning? Let's say cracking J is like a war. We have to
Hmm.
plan, strategize at every point. Like you make a strategy, it may not work. Like you're planning, as you said, we plan so many times, like things we'll do by this date, ye ho jayega, this date that will be done. But what is actual planning, right? To which is like practical also. How
Hmm.
should a JE student plan his weeks, months?
So for me, planning used to have. So I don't think it is possible to plan 3 months in advance. I don't think it's possible. Uh,
Hmm.
I used to. My belief with planning always was that it has to be very flexible. On the go, I must be able to change the plan because JE prep is much more unpredictable than you would think. There will be weeks जब आप focus ही नहीं कर पा रहे हो, या फिर suddenly you had to go outside somewhere, or
Hmm.
suddenly you fell sick. कुछ भी हो सकता है. So it used to be, I would never plan more than 2 weeks in advance. So whenever my coaching tests would be, so it used to be like one test, and then okay, a test on Sunday, next Sunday a test, and then the next Sunday would be a break. Essay I used to have tests. And
Okay.
so I used to plan from test to test कि मुझे इस टेस्ट पे इतना सिलेबस कवर करना है. The first test I would just finish my coaching का material and my notes. Second test that I would try to add my what do you say, reference book also on top of that. So I would try to finish that. Baki, it was more about staying consistent every day. The plan was just, rather than how I would split my time used to be about the work I have to get done. Like itna khatam karna hai any way possible, any means necessary, basically.
Okay, okay. You mentioned some days you are not able to focus. So, can you tell us, like, demotivation, all those things, low days, were those days there in your journey, and how did you cope up with those?
So I had a lot of low days. Um,
O-
Low days, essentially, sometimes you are just emotional. Mummy se ladai ho gayi ya fir whatever happened. You just don't want to study. Those days happen. You can't really avoid those. Sometimes you're running out of emotion, out of motivation because you are burnt out. Like you've been studying for months, 2 months, and man nahi kar
Hmm.
raha. You're sitting, you're distracted, and then you're struggling. And this is happening 2 or 3 days. What I used to
Okay.
do is say,
Right. This
yeah,
phase, 3 days
mm,
sustained, right?
yeah, so like a sustained phase where you're not able to focus. So for this, I used to try to take a break. Like the next day or the next 2 days, I would let myself be. I would rest, and that is to help calm my brain down. And then from the fifth day I would start focusing much more, so my productivity would increase. Your body needs rest sometimes, and you can't avoid that. Baki, keeping a co-curricular that was regular throughout
Hmm.
your preparation helps a lot with de-stressing you. And then if you have a co-curricular regularly, in general you will not have these days as much.
Okay. So, what co-curricular you had, if you had any?
So I kept shuffling through mine, but I was disciplined in my studying. So as a result, I was not very disciplined in my co-curricular. But in
Okay.
general, I used to go to the gym, I used to play guitar. Um,
Okay.
I had a, I had a brief time when I tried to learn dance. That didn't work out. But
So,
um, and when I used to
why
eat, I used to
what
watch.
you learn, like, why it didn't work out? What you used to like try to learn in dance specifically?
Um, there was this choreo that was really trending, and I was like, I want to learn this. TV pe laga ke I tried. Much harder than I could take at my skill level. I was totally new to dancing, so I
Okay.
just gave up. But I tried.
Okay, okay. And gym, you used to go to gym, is it?
Yes, I used to go.
Gym is a very demanding thing, no? Like how much you used to do, like what was the scenario? How many times a week? How much? Because it takes time. It tires you down at times.
Definitely. So one thing I should do is I should keep my gym towards the end of my day. Taki, like after the gym, I don't have much work to do. After the gym, I only had to revise my notes and go to sleep. So
Oh,
that way, the fatigue never really affected my prep. If anything, it helped me sleep better, which helped me recover for the next day. So that
oh,
was one thing. Baki, I gym ke liye, if strictly talking about the gym, you need a very good diet to go with the gym, and
yeah,
that diet requires time commitment. So
yeah.
gym jata tha because I like lifting the weights. Diet पे थोड़ा compromise था. Obviously that will hold back your progress. लेकिन progress gym में नहीं, books में करनी थी. तो I used to go to the gym just to move the weights much ज़्यादा diet पे focus नहीं करता था.
Okay, but
So that
now
time,
you can do.
yes, now I can do. तो उस समय time commitment, that's how I managed it.
Hmm. Okay, nice, nice. One very big problem with J aspirant get is backlogs. What is your take on that?
Backlogs come after like a time when you are not consistent. So the thing I just said a few minutes earlier, a week where you're not able to focus. For me, that is when I used to end up getting backlogs. Or what I've seen in my friends is a week ki, baहर चले गए, I felt
Hmm.
sick, something like that.
Hmm.
So that is when backlogs get created. So one thing I would say to everyone watching that they should totally avoid is pulling an all-nighter to finish your backlogs. I
Okay,
have I've seen many people try that, and what happens to these people is they pull an all-nighter to finish their backlog, and the next day in class they cannot focus. So they
okay,
created a backlog in what they were already studying. So you're not clearing a backlog; you're replacing the backlog. So
okay.
I would strongly suggest against doing that. You will find gaps in your preparation. जैसे कि
Yeah.
the say you have what's elasticity topic going on in physics, which is very light. It's a very light topic.
Yes.
That is a time when you don't have to give that much time to physics. So the extra time in your schedule, you can fit in the backlog there. So
Okay.
if I talk about myself, when my 12th day started again, I had a slump. I was not very motivated. So मेरा ray optics में I had many conceptual weaknesses. Uh,
Okay.
like it wasn't the entire ray optics, but a few topics of ray optics I was really stuck in. This is just one example. ऐसा बहुत बार हुआ है, but ray optics is the first one that came to my mind, most traumatizing one. So ray optics meant topics I did not miss, and I was missing most of ray optics questions because of that. Those are the most important ones. So
Okay.
actually, physics में जब electromagnetic waves as a topic came,
Hmm.
that is when in like electromagnetic waves does not take much time. वो class में भी only takes max to max 3 days, and it was like very little focus, or very little practice. I mean, on those 3 days, I fit in my entire ray optics, and I got much better in ray optics. So that is how I used to manage.
Okay. So let's say a backlog is created. You
Hmm.
wait for the right moment to clear it, right?
Exactly.
Whatever is going on in the class, make sure that it is done well. You do
Exactly.
not take, like you said, you used to miss ray optics questions, but you waited for the moment to get it cleared.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, nice, nice. That is a very important thing because multiple times the backlog will be created again. You clear one, as you mentioned, it is replaced, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, can you tell us what was your favorite subject, physics, chemistry, or maths?
Maths, definitely.
Maths, as discussed, right?
Maths by a lot. So I used to study maths also the most. I used to give the most amount of time to maths.
And in which subject you got most marks? Chemistry?
Um, in my actual paper, it was physics, but
Oh,
barring my physics and my actual advanced paper, it was physics. Baki, in my main second attempt, I actually got 100 percentile in maths.
wow.
Uh, so maths definitely was my favorite. Actual JEE Advanced mein maths did not go to my expectation, lekin it worked out in the end. Uh, Baki, yes. So typically, maths was the most scoring one for me. Chemistry was my weakest one, score wise.
What was your weakest one? Uh, I discussed with like multiple students yesterday. One AIR 600 something was telling his favorite was also physics, but he told marks to most he got in chemistry only. Like there's a, like people say, right? Chemistry helps you boost marks.
I have had tests जहाँ पे chemistry had me boost marks. It depends heavily from paper to paper. So for my
Hmm.
JEE Advanced, I did not find the chemistry very easy. There were lots of people. I have two friends who crossed 80 in chemistry, but like
Oh,
I did not. I got 50 in chemistry around. So it is very subjective. It depended on paper to paper also for me. There were tests where I got combined physics and maths. I got like say 16 marks, in chemistry I got
oh,
32 marks. That has also happened. It
okay,
is it depends on the day and on the test. It is very subjective, I would say. But
oh,
overall, my chemistry was my weakest one. My maths was my strongest, and physics was very close to maths.
okay. So during these journey of let's say intense 2 years, what was your biggest distraction if there was something like that? Something like was distracting you again and again? If you want to tell, like about distraction during
The starting was usually just to keep it PG, just the friends.
okay,
Uh, matlab, every now and then I used to have ki I want to go outside with my friends. And even if I was willing and I had the time, it's not necessary my friends will have the time to go outside, right? So one thing I struggled with my JE prep as a distraction was isolation. That was definitely hardest for me.
okay, nice, quite intense. Like it's I get it, I get it. You are in the room dedicating time 6 to 7 hours of self study. Like that time is completely alone, right? You're doing the
Exactly.
questions, you're doing the questions. I get it, I get it. And in class also, you're fully focused. So a lot
Yeah.
of isolation is basically the preparation demands.
Hmm.
If you're not isolated, you can't prepare. That's it, right?
You can't. You just can't. You need to be isolated to focus. But
Yes.
that
So
isolation takes a toll. That I will say, it takes a toll.
yes, but yeah, to get something like I believe like people say there should be a balance, but whenever you go for like peak,
Hmm.
balance is always off the track. What do you say on that? Right? If you're maximizing,
Definitely.
you
Hmm?
had to like some things will be sacrificed if you are maximizing something.
Yes, definitely there are things you sacrifice. like if I talk about myself, I had a huge hobby in coding. This hobby is why I started JEE Prep, so I can do coding as a profession. Like
Hmm.
because of the JEE Prep, I had to sacrifice on the coding only because, like I said about the gym, it only took about an hour of my day. If I started coding, I would code for 3 4 hours a day. I could not afford that, right? So
Yeah.
definitely, as a hobby, I had to let that go. Um,
Hmm.
so that there are sacrifices. Like this isolation thing I just said, that also took a huge toll on me. And towards the end of my prep, that really showed. I got very burnt out because of the isolation.
Hmm.
So this definitely you have to sacrifice something to get here. It's not that easy.
Yes. So also like, do you had have a smartphone or like normal keypad phone?
I have a smartphone. I don't think a keypad phone in general can help you. You know, like just because you have a keypad phone does not mean you will do good in your studies. Because कहने को तो you can get distracted by snake game also.
Yeah.
That is one thing. Distractions. If you have to get distracted, you will get distracted by anything. You can see that fan spin and get distracted. If you have to get distracted,
Yes.
having a smartphone, यही पे है, is to
Hmm.
keep it in my what do you say drawer when I used to study. पढ़ के
Hmm.
निकालता था. I used to use it. I There was at least on iOS there was a widget where you could track your screen time. I had it pinned into my screen,
Hmm.
and I had a threshold of 1.5 hours highest. इससे ज़्यादा नहीं जाना चाहिए. The days it went, I used to find a way to demean myself. कि क्या I'm some phone addict. What am I doing so much?
Okay.
Right.
Like demeaning yourself, like criticizing yourself. You used to do like when those
Exactly.
days.
How can I do this? हाँ, मेरा JEE prep चल रहा है. 2 घंटा phone use कर रहा हूँ. How can I do that? So that way is to make sure it's under 1.5 hours only. Baki, like I just said, isolation में तो everywhere I used to socialize used to be through my phone. So I also needed a smartphone. मेरा keypad phone पे काम नहीं चल सकता था. Otherwise, I
Okay.
wouldn't be able to talk to
So
anyone.
it was Instagram or like how Reddit. What was the socialization medium?
Instagram ही था, definitely Instagram ही था. Um,
So Instagram में तो रील भी होती हैं. So उनसे क्या वो तो काफी डिस्ट्रैक्टिंग चीज है आई बिलीव.
Definitely, Reels definitely distracting है. And on days, Reels has ruined my studying. Like Reel देखते गए, I did not realize time came. लेकिन भाई, it was about criticizing myself. When you like criticize yourself, कि how can I lose my study time because of Instagram Reels? You know, it won't happen again.
Okay, okay. So this was your tool to get back on the track. Criticize yourself. That's it.
Criticize myself, yeah.
Okay. So during this journey, did you find any chapter difficult and you saw your peers getting it quickly? And that comparison,
Yes.
right? Ki, am I
Mhm.
dumb? Like other people are able to solve, understand. You are like feeling slightly off. Has it happened?
Yeah, definitely. मेरे तो मुंह से सुनते सार निकला matrices. It took me very long to understand that chapter, and everybody around me was like getting it so quickly. हमारे टीचर कह रहे very easy chapter. Matrices मुझे easy लगा ही नहीं कभी. मुझे बहुत
Okay.
struggle हुआ matrices में. But with practice, yeah, I got it. The lesson there is to not get demotivated. करना ही है, option नहीं है. Tough है तो छोड़ दूंगा. I can't do that, right? Matrices especially, every JEE Advanced, minimum one question comes from matrices. So
Okay.
you cannot afford to skip the chapter. Just because it's tough doesn't mean you will skip it. You have to grind with it. It took a lot of effort, but eventually I got matrices, and then I got it to the point where कुछ भी हो जाए, matrix is a question I won't skip. I will get the matrices one right.
So you practice a lot, right? So you solved extra questions. Is it like you solved more than other students to get that topic right? To get
Definitely,
a hold of it?
definitely, I did.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. And were there any days like comparison comes like when basically marks come less in the test, right? Consistently it is happening and you feel like, am I actually able to achieve that? Something like that. Any days where comparison came with other peers?
Yes, they used to come. They used to come. But wait, it was about keeping myself motivated, and I am in general I'm a very competitive person, which I think helped a lot. So
Hmm.
if ever I came like lower in a test, like there was a test I came in the bottom of my batch also. I still remember that test.
Crazy.
I still remember that was actually a very important test for me. That is when I genuinely started studying much more. So I increased my study time by like an hour easily from there. But that one
Okay.
test changed my perspective. I'll actually elaborate on that later.
Yeah.
But so it was about keeping myself motivated and getting competitive. Like if this person is getting ahead of me, how are they getting ahead of me, and why am I letting that happen? So I would see what they're doing differently, and from your competitors, you will always learn things. So I would learn that. and then I would implement it, and I would keep working harder and harder and harder until I made it again to the top. So
Hmm.
definitely happened, but I never let myself be beaten
So
up by it.
was there like aggressive kind of competitive spirit, like how this can happen? I have to get ahead. I have to get ahead.
Aggressive, definitely, definitely aggressive, but I won't say unhealthy. Like healthy
Yes.
competition,
Very
definitely,
nice
because I
to
was
know.
friends
That's
with
what you said.
everybody, right? I was friends with everyone, even the ones getting more than me. तो ऐसा कभी नहीं
Right.
था कि इसको बुरा देख रहा हूँ, उसके लिए बुरा कह रहा हूँ. Like healthy competition, but at least I was very aggressive. I have to get ahead.
Right. Right. You also mentioned that one test change your perspective, right? You
Yes.
told we can elaborate on this. So can we double down on that? How it changed your perspective?
Fluid mechanics का test था physics में,
Right.
and I got single. That was the first time in my life I got single digit marks.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot of people got ahead in that test. A lot of people. There was this guy who got double my marks also. So it was it hurt, right? Because how can this happen? But then I told myself I wanted revenge for that test. I wanted revenge for that test. I got 46 in this test. I'm telling you the number. I got 46
Okay.
out of 180 in this test. And then I started working really hard. Like whatever books we were told, I did them perfectly with full focus. So one issue that came out from that test was my padhta raha tha. I was doing questions. I wasn't
Hmm.
doing with focus. Like karte karte I got distracted or I got up and left. I did not remember the questions I solved. Like I solved
Okay.
the
Okay.
question.
That's very interesting area in which we are heading. You are doing and you're just doing. You're not focused. You are not able to remember the question. Is it?
Exactly. That used to happen. That was one thing. So that is a habit I fixed. I started studying with focus. So any question that I have done, I have to remember. That was the mindset. I cannot do a question and forget about it.
How? Like how to get it remember? You do a lot of questions, thousands of questions you do. I know
Mhm.
every like what was the mindset key? What remembrance? Like what? Can you double down on that?
It is not about how many questions you do. Like you can end up doing 1,000, 2,000 questions. That will not help if you don't remember the questions.
Right.
Instead of 1,000, if you do 100 questions also, but you do them with full focus. तो मैं पढ़ के कर रहा
Hmm.
हूँ. I started reading aloud actually. A block is
Nice.
connected to blah blah blah. I'm reading it and
Hmm.
I'm solving and I'm understanding why I'm doing. After solving, when I got the answer and I got the correct answer, I went through my solution again. What clicked? How did I realize this is the right method to do the question? I did that for every single question until it
Okay.
became second nature for me. Like I never had to think about it anymore. That was my solving process. Not just solve and move ahead. Solve. How did I solve? How did it click? Then move to the next question. So that
Okay.
is I would not forget after that. It was about repetition. It's always about repetition to remember things.
It was a proper protocol, right?
Yes. That
It was
proper
a
protocol.
proper protocol. So solve a question. Can you elaborate once again quickly if we say what is the protocol and J aspirant should follow to get hold of the questions to not forget?
Three three step hai. First solve the question, then figure out what clicked, how did you know the right approach, and then how did all the equations pan out and stuff. So because that last step I said, how did the equations work out? That is very helpful for helping you get faster calculations.
Okay, okay.
You know,
Like,
like
mhm. Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm very vague thing that I'm going to say, but if I have like two equations in physics and then I subtracted them and I did a very long calculation to get the answer, sometimes ऐसा भी है कि, oh, if I divided the equation directly answer आ जाता है.
Hmm.
Like things like that. So these are calculation tricks which help me in my actual JEE Advanced, because if you know about this, 2026 ka physics paper 2 was extremely lengthy.
Right.
And these were tricks that helped me finish the paper in time and get a good score. So
Okay,
that
okay.
I would definitely say. Figuring out how the calculation worked, how could it be faster? That is how you optimize your question. That's how you remember the question.
Okay, okay. Got it, got it. So I was asking one thing more. Like you were saying about revision, right?
Yeah.
Repetition. So let's say you solved 10 questions, three questions you were not able to solve. What was your revision strategy regarding the question remembrance?
Okay, so if first of all, if I could not solve a question on the first try, I would not instantly Google or ask my teachers. I used to give a question about 4 or 5 tries before I Googled it. So I got stuck on it one day. Okay, it didn't work. Next day came again, tried. Next week came again, tried. Basically, okay, not next week, but I used to try the question 4 or 5 times. जब हर बार नहीं बना, then I would take it to my teachers.
Okay, okay.
If the thing is,
So,
if you've been stuck on a question for 4 or 5 tries consecutively, that question is personal. So when you actually learn how to solve it, you won't forget after that. So
okay,
that's
okay.
how it ends up working.
Right, right, right. Amazing, amazing. Also, so was like, what were the books that you solved during your JEE preparation?
Okay. Coaching material was the biggest one for me. Like
Hmm.
without fail, coaching material has to be completed. Uske baad kuch. So coaching
Okay.
material included their books plus their worksheets. Right. So that was non-negotiable for me. After that, I used to do physics. Mein there was this book, Advanced Problems in Physics. Shashi Bhushan Tiwari ki book hai.
Okay.
I did that one. I did both volumes. That was a very helpful book for physics. Chemistry mein I did Himanshu Pandey and MS Chauhan for organic. I did both.
Hmm.
Uh, I did a good amount of VK as well for inorganic. I did not finish VK as well, but I did a lot of VK as well for inorganic. And physical mein as such I didn't do anything. It was the material and the worksheets. The amount of worksheets we got for physical chemistry alone were enough for me.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. And you
Right.
solved like Iridov, like that tough book of physics, Proto, Iridov.
So the book I told you, SB, the Advanced Problems in Physics, in my opinion, is harder than Irodov. मैंने Irodov भी करी है वैसे physics की. I have done Irodov for physics. I
Hmm.
told you the one that helped me the most. It was Advanced Problems in Physics. Irodov I did a little bit, but the questions were matching what I had in my module also, like my practice material. It was also matching some questions in the Advanced Problems in Physics. So I did
Hmm.
not do Irodov fully. I did a good amount of Irodov though. बाकी मैथ्स की बुक्स आई वाज टेलिंग मैथ्स में मैंने आई डिड येलो बुक फॉर अलजेब्रा पिंक बुक फॉर कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री एंड problems in calculus by Samir Bansal for calculus and baki I did black book by again Vikas Gupta only but this was just for trigonometry के in general उसमें questions बहुत अच्छे हैं तो yeah these four books majorly plus the
Okay.
material
Got
coaching
it.
material.
And like at the last, so concluding this, if I ask you, what is one piece of advice that you want to give your JEE 2027 and 28 aspirants?
Stay consistent daily पढ़ना you have to stay consistent at the same time don't get burnt out if like I said if you're having like a consistent stretch where you're not able to study that is when you're allowed to take rest you don't have to get anyone's permission to take rest and recover and then get back to the grind and stay confident because it should not happen that you studied so much and on the day of your exam you were like do I know this do I not know this and you mess up your exam because of confidence these three
Okay.
confidence and consistency that's the best.
Okay. So confidence, how someone, like say some average student, some student went into the class, okay, he is not able to solve as per the pace, right? People are getting it. So at that point of time, I know people like that also crack JEE Advanced, right? So what
Definitely.
would you suggest? Like how at that point of time a student feel confident if he like how he should get in the zone of feeling confident. He's feeling average, he thinks I may not be able to crack it. How will you guide that aspirant if as a younger brother he comes and asks you this?
Confidence is all about repetition. If you keep doing things, then like if you've done so many questions and you've done all types of questions that can be asked to you, if somebody asks you that question, then you will be able to solve it. If you've properly studied it, you will be able to solve it, or you've solved something like that. So you should not doubt yourself. I have practiced this. I've done it again. I've done it once. I can do it again. Right. So that
Mm.
person will be confident. Nobody starts confident. You cannot start learning something and already be confident that I know this. If you are like that, then you will not learn. Right. You have to
Mm.
allow yourself to get things wrong. You have to be able to embarrass yourself in class. You have to be okay even getting yelled at. Like if you do something so stupid that you get yelled at, you have to be comfortable with that. But then practice, repeat, repeat, repeat. After that, you will get confident because I have done this. If I have done it, I can do it again. Right. Then you will be confident.
Yes. So yeah, that's very practical. And as you mentioned, no one starts confident. It's all about in the process. You will feel embarrassed, you will get yelled at, but keep doing it and do the main grind. Solve, solve, and solve. Keep on practicing, right?
Yes.
So it
Definitely.
was nice session with you, and we got a lot of insights. I hope the viewers also might have got a lot of important insights regarding JEE preparation. So thank you, Suryansh, for connecting with us, and all the best for your future.
Thank you. All the best, everybody.